Good morning, it's Judy from Thistledew Creations, and today I'm going to take you along as I make one of my Friday freebie backgrounds. So I'm starting with a piece of watercolor paper that I watercolored on in the summertime, out underneath the tree on a beautiful sunny Sunday. I had some company and I just had a bit of a cold, so I was trying to keep my distance from everyone, and I just sat there and painted pages. I didn't really do any paintings per se, I just painted backgrounds. So this one is kind of just a light aqua, and I thought it would be really pretty with some vintage photo and maybe some dark green stencils and stamps on it. So we're going to start with this Celtic link in the corner. Celtic knot, I guess it really is. I don't want it super dark, but I definitely want it to be visible. So let's see how that looks. Good. And then I want it randomish. I'm going to put another one over here. Again, not a full one. I'm trying to get my St. Paddy's Day stuff done so I can move on to Easter. And then after Easter stuff, it's just pretty spring stuff. Maybe I'll do some Edith Holden. I've got a book that's already torn apart. I just can't bring myself to use any of the pages. It's crazy, I know. That's what I got it for. Let's do a third one of these over here, only let's do it off this edge. So throughout the year, I think I'm going to be on the lookout for more and more Celtic stuff. I want to finish up my Ireland journal. It's kind of bare. I don't have a lot to put in it. And then I want to do an Outlander too. So that'll be more Scottish, but I need to get some tartans and some different Irish symbols and Scottish symbols that I can use. So let's start with those three, and those were done in vintage photo. And then I've got this group of stamps, which is all Celtic looking links. I can use some of these rectangular ones. And in the last video that I recorded, I figured out a way to do kind of a two-tone effect with it. Doing the green kind of all over, and then taking the ground espresso and just with the corner of the ink pad going kind of right down the center of the stamp, leaving the green edges and having it just brown in the middle. It turned out really good. So let's see how it looks here. We'll do it here. And then I'll do another one over here. I don't expect this one to be as dark. And then I'll do another one of those. Uh-oh. I've done it again. Lost track of which one is ground espresso and which one is vintage photo. I hate when I do that. Let's see, what have I got that's white? Well, that's my ground espresso for sure. These have just been inked. So that's a good indication of how much darker ground espresso is than vintage photo. That's vintage photo, that's ground espresso. So starting again, green ink, and then ground espresso just sort of dotted through the center of the stamp. And we'll do the darker one here. No, we'll do the darker one here this time. And the paler one here. And then, I don't think I've used this one today. And maybe I'll try that one just with green. Let's see here. And here. And then a third one over here. And I'm kind of lacking for a focal point, aren't I? Maybe what I'll do for my focal point is, maybe I'll reach for a mandala stencil, even though it's not inherently Irish. No, actually, I think I'll use this one, which is just pretty. It's kind of Valentine's-y, but if I use this just as like a spray in the center, a rose, a big rose and some little roses like that. I got it on a spot that's not. This is the best spot. It's just, this is gonna have to be held down. And what should I do this in? Maybe the dark brown. I don't want to do it really in red. I do have this, which is kind of a rust. Could try it in that. Let's see if I've got a blending brush that will work with that color. It's the autumn grass. It's kind of a pinkish red. Maybe I should just use it. The autumn grass. I thought was like a burgundy, but it's almost like an orangey, peachy red. We'll try that. Do a light background with it here. These small roses. We'll just take a look at it before we continue, see how it looks. And then this big rose, I think I'm going to lay this down as a background on it. And I might have to go over it. I'm thinking I'm gonna go over it with something else. And then some green here. I've got a brush that's just been used on all different greens. So I'll use that for here to do this leaf. And then I'm going to go around the outside of it with the vintage photo, just so it's not so bright. See how that looks. That's pretty. And then if I were to then take a thin line paintbrush and get one thin enough and do this bronze color that I was using for splatter on Carson's envelope, if you saw that video. And I'll just kind of try to fill in these details of this rose. So just kind of following the lines that I have stenciled around, basically, to create a more definite image of a rose with sort of these slightly shimmery edged petals, because this is one of those metallic watercolor paints. Not very much paint on the brush at all, not very much water. And then I'll do the same for the little roses too, but I'm going to use that one that's a little bit redder. Just start off with like a little cluster in the middle. I'm just trying to do the blank spots in between the stenciling, like so. I'm certainly not an expert at watercolor. I've just been meaning to play like this for a long time and haven't done it. So here we are today doing it. Kind of just do like a little triangle in the middle and then start filling in those blank spots around the stenciling. And then a little bit of a fill in between the flowers for depth. How fun. And quiet in this house. There, I like that. And then I'm going to do the crosshatch technique as well. So I did this at the last minute on Carson's envelope. I get my fan brush, and I had done some splattering. Don't have enough water there to splatter, so let's get some more water. Done some splatters. And then just make sure I don't have too much and do some just sort of cross hatches in the bare spots. And then over top of the stuff that I've stenciled, just for effect. And then I will do vintage photo all around the outside edge. I really like the way that rose turned out in the middle. So what I'll do is I'll take this to work with me where I have a better scanner, and I'll scan that image into my computer and save it as a Thistledew Digital, and then share it with you as a Friday freebie. I really like that one. So if you've enjoyed seeing this little play session, like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.